Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Kay and I am a photographer. Before I was a college student, but now I have dropped out and now pursuing photography full-time. And this YouTube channel is a documentation of this journey of mine, and I am so excited to bring you along with me. Today's video is all about my favorite topic, wedding photography. Wedding photography can be super stressful, but I'm here today to tell you that it does not have to be stressful, and there are 5 tips that I wish I learned before I started, and I hope you'll take something from it. Let's get into it. So a photographer or anyone who is attending the wedding needs to know the location. That goes without being said. But as a photographer, you need to know exactly where you need to be and at what time. The reason I put this tip in is because this was completely my fault. The very first wedding that I did, it was on a large property. They had an Airbnb right next door that was also theirs, and they combined both of the yards for the entire event. Now, I didn't know what to expect, and I just thought, it's a small backyard wedding, I'll find my way around. So I actually missed out on the beginning of the ceremony where the groom seats his family. So unfortunately that I missed. Another reason why I put this tip in was because in my second wedding, the bride and groom didn't know where they wanted to go for their party pictures. So I suggested a park that's maybe 1 minute down the road from their ceremony. Everyone knew where it was, but the thing we didn't know was that it did not have a parking lot. And the bride and groom left way ahead of time before us. And so we spent about 15 to 20 minutes trying to find them. Very fun. My husband is a videographer and he's been doing weddings for a long time now, and his tip is follow the bus. And what that means is wherever the bride and groom go, you go too, and you go exactly when they go. So now I know. I need to know exactly where the location is, and if there are any mini locations within that location. I need to look it up on maps, see if there's any parking on the premises, and if not, I need to find where I can park and how close I can get so that I don't miss out on anything. Also, part of this tip too, I just need to ask. I can't assume. That's just not a good idea. It's just not. That's all to be said for tip 1. Now on to tip 2. Know the schedule to the T. Notice that it's not just know the schedule, it's know it to the T. What do I mean by to the T? To the T. To the T. So basically for my first wedding, I was given a general idea of the schedule, but it wasn't to the T. I didn't know where I needed to be. And this kind of ties in with the first tip, if I must say, but it would help a lot if you knew exactly the amount of time it takes from you to get to one place to another, who's going to be there, and it just helps make things run a lot smoother if you have the time, the location, and just how long it takes to get to each location. Now, this may be a lot of information for brides and grooms to share this with you, and that's totally fine. You can totally stick with the general idea, but because you are the photographer, you are running the show, and if you don't know exactly how to run the show or where to run the show, I'm sorry, bride and groom, that was kind of on you. But it's also on us too, because we need to ask and never assume. Call the bride and groom. Do not just rely on communication on a handy device using email or text, but actually see their faces and have a one-on-one conversation with them. It will not only allow you to get the details to the T, but it will also allow you to just get to know the bride and groom better, and they'll probably feel a lot more comfortable on the day because of just seeing who you really are, if they don't know you already. Also, on top of writing down notes yourself while on the call, ask them to give you a digital copy. Ask them to give you a digital copy of Ask them to give you a digital copy of what's going to happen that day. And if they give you a generalized schedule, just like mine, where saying 11 a.m., the bride and groom, blah, 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 and just very simple, not detailed at all, very simple schedule, that's fine. Work around it, but also ask as many questions as you can. So this is more so for the wedding party and the family photos. Usually they're done together, and if they are done together, that's a lot for you. Either way though, you definitely want to get an idea of what they want for poses, but also just a list of who they want pictures with. I haven't really done this on my own, but I'm hoping to incorporate this into my next upcoming weddings, as it will take off a lot of the stress on me. It's important to have a list, but it's also important to have the list ordered in the way that makes the flow a lot smoother. If the bride and groom want pictures with the bride's parents, that's fine. But then maybe the bride wants just pictures of just her and the parents. You wouldn't want to have the bride and groom with the parent and then kick the parents out, bring in the cousins, and then bring the cousins back out and bring in the parents with just the bride. If they're giving you a list, make sure you, whether it's them or you, organize that list so it'll be easy for you and it'll be less stressful for them too. I like this tip because it points me in the right direction. It helps me to know what I need to prioritize on the day of the wedding when all of the stress is high, but not only for you, also for the bride and groom. A lot of the things that are planned before the wedding, the bride and groom will forget what they even said. They're not focused on that, right? And if they are, tell them not to be. No! No! But also, like, that's what you need to take on as a photographer. So if you ask what's important to them, it'll just give you the idea of what to look out for. If they want specific pictures of family members, ask them to provide you with pictures of who they look like, because sometimes family members are not always seated where you think they would be seated. I've had that hiccup a little bit, but we won't talk about that. This tip goes without saying, but I mean, I needed to hear it, so I don't know, maybe one of you guys do too. It's also important not only to check like if it's sunny, rainy, or cloudy, but also just the temperature. So you know not only what to wear, but also what kind of equipment you need to bring or props. Those are my 5 tips. I hope it helps. If they don't, I'm sorry. But if you have any tips, I would love to hear that as well, because I'm still learning to this day. I'm very, very new at it. So definitely hit me up in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more. I'm so excited to share this journey with you. Thanks for watching. Bye.